of the International Space Station from 7 to 11. It'll be used to sleep some of those extra crew members for the next few days. And currently on your screen, you can see JAXA, or Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Satoshi Furukawa. He is part of Crew 7, and he will be completing a handover period with the Crew 8 astronauts before he and the rest of his Crew 7 crewmates return to Earth in just a few days. And only an hour ago, the Dragon Endeavour spacecraft carrying Crew 8 docked to the International Space Station. This docking took place at 1:28 a.m. Central, 2:28 a.m. Eastern, as Dragon and the International Space Station were flying over the North Atlantic just east of Newfoundland. Teams continue to work through some of the hatch opening operations. This process can take about 2 hours to complete. Once the hatches are open, there will be a brief welcome ceremony as Crew 8 is officially welcomed aboard by the rest of the Expedition 70 crew. And following the welcoming ceremony, there will also be an ISS safety briefing for the Crew 8 astronauts. And then they will also take time to integrate Dragon into the station environment. To do that, they have to complete a few tasks to prepare Dragon for docked operations, including removing the LiO, or lithium hydroxide canister used during free flight.
Station Dragon Houston on a big loop. After some coordination here, we're going to get the hatch open with the expedited path, and then we're going to go ahead and shoot for a PAO event at around 0900. We're just finalizing some leak checks down here on the ground.
Station copies.
Dragon copies.
And you just heard some conversation between flight controllers here on the ground and the space station and Dragon crews. They are currently targeting a welcoming ceremony to take place at 3 a.m. Central, and the hatches will open a little bit before that, probably approximately at 2:45 a.m. Central. Teams are just continuing to finalize some leak checks before that official hatch opening can take place.
Station Houston on a big loop for JAWS and hatch opening.
With you on 2. With you on the big loop.
Hey, JAWS, we're ready for you to pick up in your activity at 9:05 with the Deltas as frac.
Okay, copy. Side the go and step 3.1.
If
Copy, picking up 3.1.
SpaceX, Dragon on the big loop for students.
Go ahead, Dragon.
It just timing-wise, they're telling us PAO event 09 Zulu, and that is almost exactly the same time that the seats would be done drying with 1 hour. So we will give you the seat fan off command 5 Alpha dot 6.
Concur. We are already tracking that. I also have a couple items for you. First of which is, can we come on back on board with cameras?
Stand by 1, SpaceX.
Copy, standing by.
Houston Station on the big loop. I'm showing DPTT approximately 0, proceeding with step 3.3.
yeah, copy, concur.
NASA astronaut Jasmine McBelly, who you can see currently on your screen in node 2 forward, is currently continuing to work through hatch opening procedures. She is currently completing the vestibule equalization process, and then the opening of the A-pass hatch will take place. And floating onto your screen now is NASA astronaut Laurel O'Hara.
Dragon on the big loop, you are welcome to come aboard.
Copy that. I'll bring the cameras back internal here shortly. Two other items, just so I am prepared for what we have to do after the PAO event. What have you completed in 4.400?
Stand by 1 moment. SpaceX Dragon on the big loop.
Go for SpaceX.
Status report 4.400. Section 1 complete. Section 2 complete. Section 3, we are going to hold on 3.1. We're going to do expedited. We're not going to do 3.1 right away. Section 4, we're monitoring. And then Section 5, we might be able to do 5.1, depending on how soon this hatch opens up, but we're not sure.
All right, copy all. You can actually defer Section 5 until after you re-enter to finish the configuration. No concerns there. Just be aware that we will not have the hatch seal covers installed, nor are we going to install the IMV duct. So just be careful as you're translating. And then final item for that hatch configuration, we are going to skip the LIO closeout as well. We're just accepting the extra consumption of the currently installed LIO canister. With that, you can proceed to Section 6 and wait for our call once the APAS hatch is open.
SpaceX Dragon, big loop copy. We are in Section 6 right now, standing by ISS crew.
And you heard some continued conversations between the Dragon crew and teams here on the ground as they work through some of these docked operations ahead of hatch opening. There was mention of LIO, which is the lithium hydroxide canister that's used during free flight to scrub carbon dioxide from Dragon's atmosphere. Additionally, they will complete some tasks to prepare Dragon for docked operations later today, which include installing some protective covers over the Dragon hatch and the seal around the hatchway. And here we are getting live views inside Dragon. You can see that the crew has removed their suits and are in their blue flight suits awaiting hatch opening. At the top of your screen, you can see NASA astronaut Jeanette Epps. And down toward the bottom of the screen, on the left side, we have NASA astronaut Michael Barratt, and to his right, we have NASA astronaut Matthew Dominick, and we can also see Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Grebenkin.
Houston Station on the big loop. APAS hatch is open and no condensation.
Yeah, copy.
And you just heard confirmation from NASA astronaut Jasmine Mogbelli, who has been working through those hatch opening procedures. She has confirmed that the APAS hatch is open. And in just a few minutes, we should see the hatch of Dragon open and welcome the Crew 8 crew members aboard the International Space Station. Crew 8 began their journey to the International Space Station on Sunday, March 3rd, following a launch from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida at Launch Complex 39A. They launched atop a Falcon 9 rocket at 9:53 p.m. Central, 10:53 p.m. Eastern, and have been on an approximately 28-hour journey to the International Space Station, where they docked just over an hour ago at 1:28 a.m. Central, 2:28 a.m. Eastern. They've been working through these hatch opening procedures to equalize the vestibule, do some leak checks, and ensure everything is good to go before the hatches on Dragon are open to officially welcome Crew 8 aboard. Crew 8 is comprised of NASA astronauts Matthew Dominick, Michael Barratt, and Jeanette Epps, as well as Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Grebenkin. It's a first space flight for Dominick, Epps, and Grebenkin, and a third flight for Barratt. Once on board, they will complete a brief welcome ceremony with the rest of the Expedition 70 crew, and then they will have a space station safety briefing before they jump right into handover activities with the Crew 7 crew members for the next few days before Crew 7 makes its way back home to Earth to complete their approximately 6-month journey aboard the International Space Station.
Houston, SpaceX from station on the Big Loop. Station is ready for Dragon hatch equalization.
Houston, SpaceX Dragon is ready for hatch equalization.
Dragon SpaceX, we copy.
Station Dragon, Houston on a big loop. Standby for equalization. It's expected to take about 2 minutes. And then be advised that after the hatch is open, the target base plate on the APAS hatch won't be covered, so exercise caution when translating past it.
Dragon SpaceX on the Big Loop, you are go for hatch opening per decal.
SpaceX Dragon on the big loop.
And we just heard confirmation that they are go for hatch opening. We should see Crew 8 welcomed aboard in just a minute or two. Following a docking earlier this morning at 1:28 a.m. Central, 2:28 a.m. Eastern Time, we have worked through the hatch opening procedures, including the vestibule pressurization. And now we are standing by for Crew 8 to come aboard.
Dragon on the big loop. Hatch is open.
Copy, hatch open.
And we just heard confirmation that the Dragon hatch is open, so we should see those Crew 8 crew members float aboard shortly. Currently on your screen, you can see JAXA, or Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, astronaut Satoshi Furukawa on the far left. In the center is ESA, or European Space Agency astronaut Andreas Mogensen, and also there was NASA astronaut Laurel O'Hara. They were working to set up for the welcoming ceremony that will take place shortly after Crew 8 floats aboard. And now you are seeing a live view inside the Dragon Endeavour spacecraft. You can see the SpaceX suits that the Crew 8 crew members were wearing for the docking operations, as well as for launch on Sunday, March 3rd. Crew 8 is currently standing by, and they will be ingressing into the International Space Station just a short time from now. And there we can see Crew 8 being joyfully welcomed aboard the International Space Station. First aboard was NASA astronaut Matthew Dominick, followed behind him NASA astronaut Michael Barratt and NASA astronaut Jeanette Epps. And pulling up the end, we have Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Grebenkin. The Crew 8 astronauts now officially a part of Expedition 70, and the other Expedition 70 crew members giving them hugs and handshakes as they make their way onto the International Space Station, which will be their home for the next 6 months as they conduct important science and research. With Crew 8 officially on board, we're now just standing by for some welcoming remarks from the crew. And we are currently in a brief but expected handover period. We will get signal back shortly and get those views back of the International Space Station crew.
Station Houston, Space to Ground 2. Picture looks good. There's a cable that's taking up from our perspective, is the upper right side, maybe about in the top, 20% of the screen. See if we can get that moved a little bit.
We are in another brief but expected handover period between satellites, and we should get views back of the International Space Station in just a minute. The Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System is NASA's network of specialized communication satellites, and these satellites relay signals between spacecraft, including the International Space Station and ground control stations on Earth. Once we get communication back with the International Space Station, that welcoming ceremony with Crew 8 and the rest of the Expedition 70 crew will begin.
Station, this is Houston on Space to Ground 2. Are you ready for the event? All right, let's roll. All right, stand by, stand by. Hey, Andy, sorry about that. Can you give us a little count on the microphone? We weren't getting the audio down here. Check. Okay, just another quick count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, 11, 12, 13, we're ready to roll.
Excellent. A big warm welcome to Crew 8 from all of us up here. Wouldn't you know it, after having made fun of Crew 8 for being, or for launching late. They arrive early to the space station and have us scrambling this morning. But it's absolutely fantastic to see their smiling faces. Welcome to space, Matt, Jeanette, and Alex, and welcome back to space to Mike. This is also for Crew 7 a slightly bittersweet moment, because with their arrival, it also starts the countdown to our own departure and return to Earth in about a week's time. But it's great to see Crew 8. Welcome. You guys are going to have a fantastic mission. I'm sure of it. And we look forward to spending the next week in space with you. And for Laurel, Oleg, and Nikolai, there you are. A few more weeks. But welcome to you, and I'll pass the mic to you, Matt.
Thank you so much. We are, of course, super excited to be here, and after we saw you call us out yesterday, we phoned a few friends to expedite things to kind of throw you off guard on purpose. Or so we hope, or wished. Anyway, we're so excited to be here. Big thank you to everyone who helped put this together, such a giant team around the world. And we're excited to be on board and ready to take over the watch. Over to you, Mike.
Well, first thing is just great to be back. There's such a sense of familiarity and homeness to the station. And can't wait to get back to work. But just a big shout out to all the folks who got us up here to NASA, our friends at SpaceX for building a great little spaceship, and a little taste of the flexibility this morning that we'll be expecting over the next 6 months. I know that our flight's going to go by in a blink of an eye, and really anxious to start. Thanks for the very warm welcome from Crew 7.
I second everything that Matt and Mike has said, and I just want to thank my family as well for being patient with me, and I made it here.
Всем привет с орбиты. Ну что, мы добрались. Полет был достаточно легким, поэтому надеюсь, что и продолжение будет подобным. Всем спасибо и всем передаю большой привет. Thanks a lot, all teams.
Well, once again, welcome to the International Space Station. This is an incredible place. You will have a great time up here, just like we did. We are doing so much exciting science at the moment, and we look forward to introducing you to all of it. So once again, welcome, Crew 8.
All right, thanks, Station, for all of that. I can tell you on behalf of us that are left here on the planet, we are incredibly proud to be part of this, and we're all smiling down here. All right, Station, we are now resuming operational communications.
And there you have it. Crew 8 is officially on board the International Space Station and welcomed by the Expedition 70 crew, bringing the current space station population to 11 for the next few days. Crew 8 began their journey to the orbiting laboratory following a liftoff at 9:53 p.m. Central, 10:53 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, March 3rd from Launch Pad 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida atop a Falcon 9 rocket. Following orbital insertion, the Dragon vehicle carrying Crew 8 completed a series of automatic maneuvers to guide the spacecraft to the forward-facing port of the station's Harmony module. Dragon Endeavour and its four-person crew of NASA astronauts Matthew Dominick, Michael Barratt, and Jeanette Epps, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Grebenkin docked to the International Space Station at 1:28 a.m. Central, 2:28 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday, March 5th, as the space station and Dragon were traveling over the North Atlantic, just east of Newfoundland. Once the vestibule was pressurized and a series of leak checks were performed, the hatches were opened and Crew 8 was officially welcomed aboard the International Space Station, where they will spend the next 6 months docked to the orbiting laboratory, conducting new scientific research and experiments. Thank you for joining us for our Crew 8 coverage this morning. Go NASA, go SpaceX, and go Crew 8. This is Mission Control Houston.